Title of this lesson is called Laying the Foundation. Um, Quite frankly, there's a large disparity of the reason people don't make enough money. Part of it is less than 1% truly succeed financially, with 20% fail. Uh, no one is destined for success by fate. Success is not reserved for people that have good hereditary or grow up in an enriching environment. It's not a private club. Weren't born wealthy or very intelligent or attractive. Quite frankly, part of it has to do with the desire and drive, commitment, dedication, how you educate yourself for what you're going into, the courage. In other words, when people tell you it won't work, if you're properly educated, you have the commitment, dedication, desire, and drive. You can do it. You have to have the courage to do it. And it's a discipline. In other words, it's something that you're doing. You have to have discipline in it, perseverance in how you set your organization up. The single and biggest missing ingredient, I would say, is lack of education in what you're trying to do. Hopefully, this course will help you preserve yourself in a situation where you can make money and get the right education to do it. Okay. Many people work just hard enough to keep their jobs. Well, uh, that's possibly true. Maybe what are they in their job for? Fear of the unknown. They don't know what they're in their job for. Uh, Skepticism. Everybody's a skeptic. My thing is, I've made a living doing real estate since '98. Okay. So this is something that anybody can do if they're properly prepared. You got to make a commitment. The commitment is how much time are you willing to put in. Okay. I'm not saying work every waking hour, but standard rule of thumb is we all have 24 hours in a day. If you work 8, you got 16 hours left over. You take 8 out for sleep, you got 8 left over. What you do with that 8 will make you successful or waste time, one of the two. Okay. You want to have long term goals, short term goals. I would say you want to start out working about maybe 7 to 10 hours a week. I would map out my day like Monday, whatever time you have available, slot in maybe a couple hours on Monday, slot in a couple hours on Tuesday, slot in a couple hours on Wednesday, and Thursday at least have an hour, hour and a half in. That way you're getting all your work done at the beginning of the week. That way, if you did make phone calls, it might take time for people to get back a hold of you. You can always answer those phone calls at your prerogative throughout the week. But the main thing is to schedule yourself a time to work on your business, which would be real estate. Okay. This is time that you want to commit daily, at least 3 to 4 days a week. You want to commit a couple hours a day to it. You don't want those times to be interrupted. If you're a parent, you don't want to have to be responsible for watching your kids. You want to give full attention to these couple hours a day that you're putting into this. Then you want to start out with a goal, short-term goal within 12 months. Whatever you want to do. If you want to own 3 rental properties, single-family dwellings, write it down. Within 12 months, I want to have 3 properties purchased. If you want to fix and flip, you want to put down how much cash on hand you want to have for this. You want to put down what you're willing to do. I'm going to work 6, 8 hours a week for this. I want to purchase the property with credit card, whatever i.e. Visa, MasterCard, whatever. Then you want to set down a long-term goal. Whatever that long-term goal is, it'd be within 4 to 5 years. I want to have 25,000 in the bank, increase my portfolio to 150,000, own, maintain 8 single-family houses, own, maintain 2 multi-dwelling properties, whatever your situation is. But you want to have a plan and do proper planning, okay? Part of your activities, habitual, is planning and organizing your schedule. If you don't have one now, purchase a weekly planning book, stationery store, office supply company, whatever. Sit down, make you out a weekly planner or plan it on Google. And while we're discussing starting out with this foundation, you also want to look up the thing called Evernote. I use this as an information management system. In Evernote, what I'll do is I'll copy, click, and paste there, put stuff in the heading. If it's YouTube's I want to watch later, I'll put it there. That way I got it all in one place. I can hit the link to it and go right to it. But Evernote, it's free up to a certain amount of data usage. You can store your properties you're researching in that, who the owner is, how to get a hold of them. That way you don't lose that piece of paper you wrote it down on. You've got it all in one location. You can look it up based upon notebooks in Evernote. Get familiar with it. It's an information management tool that'll surprise you once you start using it and make it a habit of using it. Evernote. Things that are absolutely essential to accomplish is called a task. Okay, you want to have a task management system. I currently use AnyDo as my task management system. It syncs from the phone to the computer. If you got to call something back, schedule an appraisal, whatever, you can list that in there. That way it won't forget, and it'll pop up and remind you to do whatever it is you have to do. But you want to create a foundation. Part of the foundation you're creating is how to manage your stuff and how to commit your time to whatever it is you're willing to commit to get into the real estate game. The other thing you want to take a look at is your finances, where you're at financially. How much cash do you have on hand? If you've got 500 in savings, well, I wouldn't suggest drawing all your savings out to get into real estate, but you want to look at other avenues. A lot of times people have unwanted stuff around the house. You could post some stuff on Craigslist, sell it, get rid of it, harvest the cash that you get out of that stuff to get started in real estate. I remember one time I sold some old tools I had that were about wore out from roofing, and I turned around and bought some carpet and paint with them to get one of my apartments up and running when I first got started. There's a number of ways to look at gathering cash. You want to list every asset you own, whether it's a loan on it or whatever, whether it's a car, extra car that you don't need, you could sell. Whatever it is you have, you want to list all your assets on a sheet of paper, then decide how important those assets are to you. Maybe that big screen TV isn't as important if it don't produce you any money and keeps you sitting there wasting your time. Maybe you need to harvest some of the cash in the assets you got and put it towards some cash producing assets. In the real estate game, you get your rent every month and it's cash producing. We don't want to discuss why you're in the shape you're at right now, but if you're wanting to get started, you're sick and tired of having nothing, you want to get started, this is something that you can do, and with the right advice and the right studying, you can get it accomplished. Selecting the right property, you've got the inexpensive, the moderately expensive, the expensive and the ultra expensive. I'd say the biggest part of the properties are the inexpensive properties, something you can get for 10 or 15,000, no more than 20,000, and get a good return out of it. That's the important part of getting started. You got to start somewhere. You got to decide what your market is, drive the neighborhoods, see what the prices are in the neighborhoods. Visit those neighborhoods in the evening if possible. That way you can tell how busy it is, how loud it is, whether it's a good property. It's my short YouTube on laying a foundation. Have a great day.